Hey everybody, welcome back to another Schematics trailer analysis video. I'm BillyMFMays, once again joined by the magnificent and the immaculate BlindIRL and Adfo. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey guys, and today we're going to be looking at a game called This Is the Police 2, created by Weappy Studios and published by THQ Nordic. So let's watch the trailer at normal speed and we'll be right back with you guys. And we're back, and now we're going to be looking at the trailer at half speed and probably going into way too much detail about everything that we see. So let's begin.
I mean, at the first look, it really looks like this is the police. Like, you are in your office, you're looking down at the city, you have your officers and stuff like that, and then events occur and you send out your people. But so far, so good, and it's mostly like in people and route management system.
Yep.
But then it changed up into what we have here.
Yeah, the turn-based strategy side where you got flashbangs, and it's interesting looking at a type of game like this where you'd have to try and get non-lethal takedowns if at all possible, right?
Now, this is in America, right? Maybe? I have no idea. So, you know, non-lethal is always optional. Of course, I'm joking. But no, it's like it reminds me a lot of Fargo in terms of style. And well, I guess anywhere where there's like state troopers and snow, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, it's Fargo.
Could be.
Visually, it looks very similar to the first one. I'm assuming just on the basis of this being a This Is the Police game, it's going to have the same kind of moral choices that the first one had.
I'm guessing.
And that you're going to slowly question your own morals, and the game's going to tear you down one peg at a time until there's nothing left and you're sad. I think we should pause when we see that like choice wheel of items. Yeah, I'm curious about what those abilities are more than anything.
Well, one's probably reload.
Yeah, looks like there's reload, like I mentioned non-lethal takedowns earlier. Like it looks like you just straight up have the option to stab somebody too. Especially if we go a little bit earlier in the trailer.
39 seconds.
There we are.
You have
taser, handcuffs, stab, and I wonder what the percentage chances are to connect to all of these, just kind of in a strategy sense. Yeah, I'm really curious about the options that we're going to have available to us, really.
Well, the taser apparently is impossible to dodge, as it says in the tooltip, so that will always connect.
Oh, I see, yeah.
But also, apparently, there is a wear and tear situation here too, because you have to protect it from moisture, and you are basically surrounded by moisture when it's snowing.
Interesting. Then you get electrocuted.
Which is always a fun time.
Yeah.
No, tasers are not a fun time.
No.
But no, I'm really curious about the actual depth of the strategy here, because, you know, just looking at it from the trailer, it looks kind of simplistic. Being blunt, that is okay. That's not a bad thing. I think the camera angles are good. I think the art style suits strategy really, really well. I guess my concern is how much depth are we actually going to get out of this strategy layer, and is it just tacked on gameplay, or is it actually going to really give us something here? Like, I'm not totally sold on what I've seen.
To be honest, my complaint, I played This Is the Police 1, my complaint would be, yeah, story-wise, it's fine. It does what it does. Gameplay-wise, it's kind of boring-ish because you're just sitting there and clicking. You can say, shoot him in the leg while he's running away, the suspect, or go to the back door or go into the front door or shit like that. So that's all. And I think they just gave it a little bit more depth in the mission and more complexity and more gameplay, which I kind of like.
Yeah, I do, but still, if the strategy layer is just tacked on as a replacement for that, then is it necessarily helpful?
Well, for me, it's a case where the strategy layer, it doesn't need to be super in-depth, but it does still have to complement the story, which seems to be the main priority of this game, where, you're put in the situation where you're having to make the tough decisions as an officer in terms of, do you, non-lethally apprehend a suspect, or do you have to take them down with lethal force, having to deal with the repercussions or paperwork after that. This doesn't seem like the kind of game where you would be on the level of, on the ground level, trying to work your way through a strategic situation all the time, and the rest of it is just more or less, the setup and the drama that kind of goes into the police work.
Well,
at least if they're going that more of a cinematic route with it, which it looks like they are in terms of just the style and the theme.
I mean, definitely story games like this can grab me, absolutely, but alternatively, even if the story doesn't grab me, if there is a strategy layer with a good amount of depth, I will gravitate just to that specifically and play a game specifically for that layer of gameplay, regardless of the story. So I'm looking at this and wondering, is this going to be something you're playing for the story primarily, or is this strategy layer, this new layer to the sequel, going to be enough to grab strategy players specifically? That's
I get that.
I mean, it's hard to tell from what we've seen so far because it's not much, but my feeling is it's more about the story, and just the strategy is more like, give it more gameplay, because that's, for me, was the major issue with the last one. It doesn't have really that much to do in gameplay wise.
Another kind of interesting thing, if you go to 59 seconds, he selects the player character selects the 6-shooter, and then you can select where on the body to shoot, which I think is kind of interesting. So I guess you'll get different percentages depending on where you shoot them. So you can choose to shoot them in the knees, shoot them in the hand, or shoot them in the head or in the chest.
I honestly think it's not about percentages, so I don't think it's like in games like XCOM where you have percentages, hit percentages. It's more about the decision itself. Do you want to shoot him in the leg so he can't run away, so you can arrest him? Did you want to shoot in the arm that holds the gun so he can't hurt your officers, because that's a real thing in the game. You can hurt and kill or your officers can be hurt or killed, or you're gonna straight up heading for an headshot and just kill him, which might be an issue later on when resolving the crime. So I think it's more about that and not the hit percentages. It's more story decisions in an interesting way, or more interesting way than clicking, I want to shoot for the head in the text.
It kind of bothers me a little bit because you really, if you pull out a gun, you are intending to kill. Usually you are trained to shoot for the chest because that is the most effective way to kill somebody. It's the place with the least protection in terms of the human body, and that's where most of your vital organs are.
It's the easiest place to hit.
It kind of just takes me out a little bit when I see, like, oh yeah, shoot his hand and shoot the gun out of their hand, or shoot their foot and wound them, or even shoot them in the head, which is really not a great place because your skull is like the thickest part of your skeleton. It does take me out a little bit in that way. Maybe a case where it's like it's trying to be a little too theatrical in that way, which again reinforces the point that maybe the storytelling or the cinematic style of like police storytelling will be prioritized more than maybe the gameplay.
See, that's the fundamental difference between your Americans and us in Europe, because here it's, even if the suspect has a gun, we are trying to not kill the suspect because resolving the crime is top priority, and officers, at least here in Germany, are only told to kill a suspect if it's really necessary. It's always a big debate.
Oh yeah, it's still the same. It's still the same in the US.
But that is the point of the game, right? Is to make you question your ethics, and they're already doing this from the trailer, so maybe they are achieving what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah. That's actually very effective.
Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say about this trailer aside from I hope that the strategy layer has a lot of depth. I'm curious about this one. I wasn't curious about the first one, so it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, for me, it's a case where if the strategy layer has enough depth as the story layer is trying to have, that'd be great. If not, it probably will still be fine, and the story layer will be able to kind of carry it a little bit more, while the strategy layer is engaging just enough to hold it all together.
Yeah.
Well, that was our look at This Is the Police 2 by We Happy Studios and THQ Nordic. Thank you guys for joining me today, and we will see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Peace.
So long.